It's time for a cup of coffee with Will and Chris at Slumberland Furniture. From Slumberland Furniture in Osage Beach, here are your hosts, William Holtz and Chris Schneider.
Time for this week's cup of coffee from right here at Slumberland at the Lake. I'm Wild Will.
I'm Uncle Chris.
And Chris, this week we recap a busy week, plus we tell you what happened. You see that crazy speedboat crash?
I did see that. That was unbelievable. Thank the Lord nobody got hurt, killed in that.
Yeah, Freedom One out in Havasu will tell you about that, plus a big new snow surfing or snow attraction coming to
Yeah,
Lake.
that looks pretty interesting. Supposedly it's going to be year-round.
That plus Osage Beach warns you about a scam alert. That will tell you about Lake TV streaming as we prepare for Como Connect to stop doing TV here in the near future. That and a whole lot more. Plus, big news, Paxton DeLaurent, former Camdenton alum, he gets invited to the Chiefs rookie mini camp.
How cool is that? And apparently, if it doesn't work out for the Chiefs, he's got some other options.
Well, he's a hot commodity right now for NFL teams. We'll tell you about all that and a whole lot more right after this.
Hey everybody, it's Daryl Cunningham with Slumberland Furniture at the Lake. Everybody's getting ready for the summer. You may want to refresh your bedding, or you may need that extra place to sleep. We have some showroom models up to 50% off on mattresses, and we have about 20 different models of sleeper sofas. Get ready for all the guests coming this summer with a new place to sleep. Come check out all the deals at Slumberland Furniture, where we're bringing happy home.
The biggest names in music visit Lake of the Ozarks in 2025 at the Ozarks Amphitheater. Get ahead of the crowd with the Ozarks Amp Fan Club. Score pre-sales, announcements, special offers, day of show details, and so much more. The best part is, it's free to join, but you've got to sign up to beat the crowd. Visit ozarksamp.com and score big with Missouri's #1 outdoor music venue, the Ozarks Amphitheater. We'll see you under the stars.
The lake has it all. The scenic outdoors, the incredible events, and of course the water.
But did you know 50% of all fatal boating crashes in Missouri last year involved alcohol?
Although we know the lake is all about having a great time, we also know what's most important to you.
So don't forget and always designate a sober captain ahead of time, so this summer won't be your last summer.
This reminder to drive safe, boat safe, brought to you by Price & Randall, injury attorneys.
Yeah, a great reminder to drive safe, boat safe. Goes right hand in hand with our first headline of the week, and it's been national news, the most viral video we've seen from the offshore industry in quite some time. Over the weekend, Freedom One out there in Lake Havasu, you saw it, over 200 miles an hour, just insane. And as you said on the other side of the break, what a miracle that both driver and throttleman are okay.
Yeah, because we've seen crashes like that in the past that resulted in deaths. So this was unbelievable. I think the safety is getting better on some of those boats, like it is in NASCAR and IndyCar and all that stuff. But so this boat, it remained fully airborne for 3 seconds, completing a full backflip, followed by a 360-degree rotation before it crashed back into the water, and these guys survived, right?
Yeah, they survived. Now, video courtesy of Speedboat magazine. Our buddy Ray Lee, their publisher, he did our pre-race show with us last year for Shootout. He's an icon in the offshore industry, but he's been all over, like from Good Morning America to all kinds of TV shows. Their video been viewed millions of time. But this boat, Freedom One, they're out of Kansas City, and the team is dedicated to raising money for charitable causes and organizations. And the boat you see in this video is a custom skater catamaran named America One. And its goal, according to their website, is to be the fastest shootout-style race boat in the world. And so just crazy, according to team technician Ryan Ola. They actually won the event, even though the boat was upside down and backwards. Despite the accident, like I said, they won, plus they raised over $20,000 for local charities. Now, what's crazy about Freedom One, Uncle Chris, is no one seems to know the identity of the driver and the throttleman.
Yeah, they call themselves like John Wayne and Clint Eastwood, I think, because they want to be anonymous.
Sure. And here's what's crazy about these guys. You know, we got introduced to them last year at Shootout. There was rumors, hey, they were going to break the record, they were going to win the Top Gun, and they had some complications, and so there's been a lot of speculation this offseason. And so with this happening at Desert Storm in Lake Havasu in Arizona, which is about 150 miles away from south of Las Vegas, would they still be able to race in the shootout here in Lake of the Ozarks?
That was
in
my
August?
first question, yeah.
And this is like a very similar, actually 3/4 of a mile course down there in Lake Havasu. It's a speed event. They see who can go the fastest in that 3/4 mile course. And so they're already speculating they're going to get the boat right. According to their Facebook post, drivers are safe, just a little beat up. Again, absolute miracle. And the boat manufacturer and make model also being credited with the safety for the drivers. And according to Justin Martin, who we know here locally, he says great response from first responders. And you can see in another video from Speedboat magazine later of the dive team from the helicopter right on scene just within minutes of things taking place. And it's pretty crazy. But I mean, this video, you see not only the video from the outside, but you've gotten to see the video from inside the cockpit, courtesy of Freedom One. Just unbelievable.
Yeah, it really is. And these catamarans, if you've noticed, if you're kind of keeping an eye on boat racing, it's the catamarans that usually flip like this. Just the way they're built, the engineering behind them is they're designed to what they call pack air in the tunnel between, the two sides of the catamaran. And if you get a gust of wind, or if you hit a wake that kind of sends you up in the air, that can flip that boat really easy. And as we've mentioned before, those crashes can be deadly. Bob Morgan, JT Tillman, some Lake of the Ozark guys died a few years ago in a crash like that. And I believe that was in Key West. That was in 2011. Horrifying crash like that in 2014 that also resulted in another death. That was right here at the Lake of the Ozarks. So these things are really dangerous.
Yeah, the late great Mike Fiore from 2014, never forget. And that's what I thought of when I saw that. But like you said, that bit of wind gets under, and I mean, it's almost like the kite effect. It just goes up into the wind and starts doing its thing. It was traveling at over 200, some reports allegedly 225 miles an hour in the air, and it hit the water at speeds close to 200 miles an hour. So just a miracle. And we'll keep you posted, because this team, the mystery that surrounds them now, this viral moment, all eyes will be on Freedom One. And will they be at Lake of the Ozarks Shootout August 23rd and 24th? And if you remember, Spirit of Qatar will be making its return, allegedly. And of course, Don Unkin and American Ethanol. I'm talking with those guys. They're all fired up. 10 consecutive Top Gun awards. It'll be the Governor's Cup, or the Lieutenant Governor's Cup this year. But they'll still be gunning for their 11th consecutive win at Lake of the Ozarks Shootout for overall top speed. And this year, they'll have some crazy competition, Spirit of Qatar. And now, will Freedom One be there? We'll, of course, follow that story.
It's interesting, the engineering behind these boats, that they're built to kind of fly on the water with just the motor in the water, and that's how they go so fast. But you look at it like in the Indy cars, the wings on those cars, they engineer those wings so that the air will keep the car on the ground. Otherwise, they're going so fast it would fly. Right. So they can only do that so much with a boat. I mean, if it catches a wave or some wind, that's what happens.
No doubt. So hey, our next Lake of the Ozarks headline of the week is, according to Lake News Online, Nancy Zollner, it looks like the lake is set to get a really cool new attraction for 2026.
Yeah, and if you've been down in Branson, it's going to be kind of like what they've got down in Branson, right? So if all goes as planned, next year, not this year apparently, but next year, people of all ages going to be able to take to the slopes, right?
Right.
Because they're calling this the Snowflex at Lake Park, and this is in Lake Ozark. The design will mimic an existing snow tubing facility that's located there in the Branson area. So the park will be located behind the existing Eagle Stop, the gas station there between the station and Highway 54 in Lake Ozark. And apparently, I think it's the Geyer family that is putting this all together. They're the ones that own all of the Eagle stops. They're in the Eldon area.
Yeah.
Huge business.
Yeah, according to Lake News Online's article, it said Crockett Engineering applied for permits on behalf of Geyer Holdings, who owns the land. So the way I understand that is that the Geyers hire Crockett Engineering, and they applied for those permits. Now, they own over 4 acres, about 4.3 acres off of there. Now, according to Harrison Fry, city administrator
What a great
with
guy.
Lake Ozark, he said, the special use permit was approved on April 22nd by the Board of Aldermen at a Board of Aldermen meeting. The park would be slated to be open year-round.
That's interesting to me.
Which I thought was cool.
Yeah.
And you mentioned the Branson Park. It's Wolf Mountain Ranch. Now, there's everything from zip lines, and this would allow for 8 tubes to ride down simultaneously. We got some video from Wolf Mountain Ranch just to give you an idea. But this is really cool. And they also said that there would be a 2-story building, parking, and a snack shop at the bottom of the hill. And so it looks like another neat attraction potentially coming next year here in the city of Lake Ozark.
Yeah, Fry said the developer indicated that the snack shop will have the feeling of a ski lodge where parents can hang out while the kids are tubing and people can wait until it's their turn to get on the slopes. And apparently they're going to have like a, what do they call that? Like an elevator lift for people who come down the slopes. You don't have to walk all the way back up. You can catch this elevator contraption thing
Gondola?
back up to something like that. Yeah. Which is cool, but for old people like me, we're not going to keep trekking up that hill, right?
Right.
You know, give me something automated that's going to take me back up there.
So wait, so you're telling me that you're actually going to do the slopes if they have something to take you back up?
That's not what I'm saying at all.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure we had that on recording for people to hear. But the first thing I think of, all the excitement about these new attractions coming, the amusement park, the outlet mall. But I get to thinking, like, you remember about 6 to 7 months ago, we announced Pin Seekers, the Top Golf style
That's right.
attraction coming. And since that time, we've seen nothing, we've heard nothing. And so that's my next question. So tune in next week as we take a deep dive into the owners or developers of that new Pin Seekers, set to be like a Top Golf style attraction. We've seen nothing again, heard nothing since that. And so have you guys heard anything about Pin Seekers? Lots of people are reaching out and asking us.
Yeah.
We're hearing that from many people. And so on next week's Cup of Coffee, we will be trying to answer that very question. But man, isn't it crazy how many new attractions, new businesses, new people are coming to the Tri-County area?
It really is. I mean, obviously we got the new theme park. That's, you know, the Oasis theme park that's being built. With the big hotel right next to that, the Marriott, we've got Super Splash USA. We've got this new slide that they're talking about coming in, the Pinstripe Golf Place, and the land is still there. They've kind of cleared the land right off of 54.
Hey, Justin Wagner's luxury RV park, kind of going to be like, you know, a Branson Lodge, kind of like Johnny Morris.
Yeah.
Big Cedar Lodge. I mean, there is so many things happening here at the lake. And as the more people come in and new businesses, there's other things you need to be concerned about, including one that we're being warned about from the city of Osage Beach that includes a scam of a drunk child on cough syrup. This is wacky.
This is a weird story here, but basically it's look out for these scams. So there's a common scam that's going around, and it's been hitting Lake of the Ozarks lately. So apparently earlier this week, someone posing as an officer with the Osage Beach police called a local individual, local folks, claiming that their daughter had been arrested after causing an accident while under the influence of cough syrup. So the impersonator said the daughter needed bond money. Here's where the scam's coming in. They're trying to get money out of it. That the daughter needed this bond money. The lawyer would be in touch with payment instructions, right? And so right after that, a second caller calls using the name that this fake police officer had just given of a local attorney, requesting several $1,000s to secure the daughter's release. So wisely, these people double-checked on it, called the police, is this for real? And they found out that it was a scam. But stuff like this happens all the time, and what these scammers are trying to do is kind of put you in a panic, right? Your daughter's in trouble. If you want her to get out of jail, then you got to do this right now, kind of a thing. And, a lot of parents freak out. They don't think correctly, and all of a sudden they're scammed out of all this money. So
they go so far too. Like, I mean, the second caller using the correct name of a local attorney, followed up, like you said, requesting those thousands of dollars. Now, luckily, no money was lost after they found out their daughter was safe. But the city is giving a warning to locals saying that, hey, a couple of things you should think about. If something feels off, it probably is. A couple things to know. Police officers do not call family members to inform them of an arrest. If someone is detained, they will be the one to call you. Second, do not hesitate to verify information. If you get a call like this, ask the officer for their name and badge number and hang up. Call the department immediately to verify that person's employment. Number 3, legitimate attorneys do not request bond payments over the phone. Won't happen. 4, pay attention to detail. This scam caller gave the wrong address for the police department. While not every citizen knows this offhand, scam callers often make easily verifiable mistakes. So pay attention. And lastly, always call the city if you suspect a scam. Their dispatchers are trained, friendly, and they're ready to help you out. Don't be intimidated or overwhelmed to call the city of Osage Beach. They'd rather you be safe than sorry, as phone numbers can be faked, they can be spoofed. So always hang up and call the Osage Beach non-emergency line at 573-302-2010. This from Jamie Rutledge with the city of Osage Beach. So it's interesting, but you hear of more and more of these type of scams and calls going out.
And apparently, you know, AI is making these scammers better at what they do. You know, their AI has the ability to do so much. And so scammers are now bringing that into the mix. But I mean, have you ever been like, there's on the computer, there's that scam where something will pop up supposedly from Microsoft or somebody like that, you know, and I've done it. I mean, I've fallen for it and let them in on my computer, and you know, that's tragic, right?
Man, oh man.
All of that stuff, you got to be really careful about. That happened to you too?
Oh, yeah.
That happened to me.
I had to unplug my computer, and by the grace of God and the blessing that Andrew Evans is, you know, we got out of that. But that is alarming. They tell you just need to let them in so they can fix it. Before long, they got control of everything.
They got
kicking
your bank
you out of your house.
They got everything. Yeah, you got to be careful with that stuff.
No doubt. But yeah, don't feel bad. You're not the only one. It's happened to me.
Yeah.
All right, so hey, I wanted to remind people that a lot of people here locally over the last 7 to 8 years have watched Lake TV on Como Connect Channel 90. Well, maybe that's not you. You watch on one of our many other platforms or ways. Well, if that is you, listen up. If you haven't heard, Como Connect will no longer be doing broadcast TV as of July 1 of this year. So we're coming up for about a couple of months before Como Connect does away with TV. So whereas Como has made it easy to get Lake TV, don't worry, with Como Connect going away, streaming or getting Lake TV is easier now than ever before.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I mean, cable TV is kind of dying everywhere, and we love the Como people. I mean, those are we just had a nice meeting with them the other day. They're just such wonderful people. But for them, it's really not a moneymaker anymore to do, you know, broadcast television. So they're getting out of that because most everybody now watches TV streaming, right? Yeah. Roku is the #1 streaming platform in the world. In the world, basically, and we are on Roku.
All you need to do is search Lake TV, Lake of the Ozarks TV, either one, and you'll see our black icon right there. You can add that channel free of charge right there.
Watch us
and
for
the
free.
cool thing is you can watch the live Lake TV stream 24/7. Whatever's streaming on Lake TV anywhere is available right there. But you can also watch our on-demand playlist, like our LOZ featured doc series, our shootout content. You can watch Cup of Coffee, Weekend at the Lake, our real estate content, any of that, including our community spotlight, classic videos on demand on Roku and also on Amazon Fire TV. We're on there as well.
Yeah.
And I would also say that the LOZ app makes it super easy if you want to stay on your phone.
Just watch Lake TV on your phone. And the LOZ app in the App Store is free. Just download it. Heck, even I did that. That's how easy it is. If I can do it, you can do it. So.
Correct. And also at mylaketv.com, we stream 24/7 from any smartphone, tablet, or device. And then with any of our live events, you're going to want to make sure you connect with us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, because on social and online, a lot of content you won't see on our streaming networks and platforms you will see there. So we just want to remind people you've got a couple of months, and if you need help, like let's say you've got a business here at Lake of the Ozarks and you want to find out how to get Lake TV on at your business, as long as you've got internet, it's free to get Lake TV, and it's becoming easier and easier all the time. You can email us at info@mylaketv.com and we will get you squared away. But as things change in the TV world, it changes for a lot of people. But for Lake TV, we've kind of seen the writing on the wall. We've been preparing for this for years and years leading up to this.
Absolutely. Well, and one of the issues here at the lake, in the lake area, is we've got an older population, like myself, right? And so sometimes it's harder for us older people to figure out, well, how do you stream something, right? How do you watch?
That has nothing to do with age.
It's actually really easy.
It has nothing to do with age. I feel that at times. Trying to watch my other content is difficult, but Lake TV is easy. All right, our next headline, major road project coming to Highway 54. And the reason this is important is because for all of you guys that watch Lake TV from outside the lake area and you come to the lake, the next couple of years, it's going to look a little differently as you're traveling 54 through Jeff City. Yeah, so this is a 2-year project, right? So it's going to be around for a little while. This is in Jeff City, not in Lake Ozark or, Osage Beach. But construction crews planning to start with making minor substructure repairs and applying concrete overlays to Highway 54 in Jefferson City over Linden Drive and Stadium Boulevard, all right? So this all starts May 5th. So this is coming up really quick. Highway 54 between Missouri Boulevard, and we all know that because just about everything in Jeff City is on Missouri Boulevard, it seems. Between Missouri Boulevard and Stadium Boulevard, it's going to narrow down to one lane in each direction, and there will be an 11-foot restriction. So if you've got a boat or a trailer of some kind or a box truck of some, you need to be careful about that. 11 feet it gets pretty tight. You know, if you're pulling a trailer and winding through Jeff City on Highway 54. Traffic pattern may remain in place through mid-October in what they're doing here, right? But again, it's a 2-year project, so there's going to be ongoing things. Repairs and overlays on 11 bridges and to remove one no longer used bridge, we are told. So just kind of be ready for that in Jeff City. If you've got to go, past Missouri Boulevard, then you're going to have to deal with that on Highway 54. 10 years ago, no problem, right? For big trucks and boats coming to Lake of the Ozarks, 11-foot width, that's fine. Most boats will be just fine. Anymore, you may run into issues. So if you have a big mamba jamba that you don't keep down here at the lake and you're going to be pulling behind you or getting down here, you may have to look at alternative routes, but worth noting, so we wanted to bring that up. Now, our next headline, probably my favorite headline of the year, maybe of all time, since working with Lake TV over the last 13 years, but Camdenton alum Paxton DeLaurent has been invited to the Kansas City Chiefs rookie mini camp this weekend. Wow. How cool is this?
Big time, baby. And I remember you and we were doing his games at Camdenton. They were like one of the top 2 teams in the state when he was a senior. They lost in the playoffs to the team that ended up winning state. I think it was Webb City, wasn't it? But he's just a special talent. It's really exciting to see him get this chance with the Chiefs as a unsigned rookie free agent, right? Yeah. So he'll have a shot.
2019 graduate. You remember his senior year in 2019, a special year. He rewrote the passing record books in Camdenton.
And you kind of taught him how to throw, I guess. Huh?
Yeah, way back we had a throwing competition, and I almost beat him. This was when he was in 2nd grade, and I was a grown man. But I think that he's taken my advice and done pretty well for himself. But listen, rewrote the record books at Camdenton, went to Missouri State for a semester before deciding to transfer to Central Methodist in Fayette. He rewrote the record books there in 2 years. Then he went to Division I SEMO, where he rewrote their record books from all-time passing, attempts, completions, touchdowns, yards. He rewrote the single game, the all-time, the career. I mean, it was unbelievable what he did. And as far as what it's going to look like this weekend, like starting Friday, he meets with team officials and will work out. Saturday, he'll get a chance to meet with Andy Reid and all of the rookies.
How cool is that?
He'll have meetings, film session, a throwing session, followed by more meetings. And then on Sunday, he'll have some drills, light practice activities, workout followed by more meetings and interviews. And he'll come home Monday waiting to kind of hear the decision. But if you know the Kansas City Chiefs and you know Andy Reid and the Hunt family, you know the character internally, spiritually, mentally is as important as the on the field. And so I got a chance to talk with Paxton this week. He was home this week. He actually came home and worked out with some of his boys, Jabin Shockley, Bear Shore, both the Ozark boys throwing at the field. You see a picture here Paxton sent me. Pretty cool stuff. But he's going to get an opportunity to prove who he is. And he said to me, he's like, I know this is as much as, the off the field. And I'm really excited about this opportunity just to show them that. He said, it's all up to God. His faith is absolutely still his number one. And he says, if I make the team, great. If I don't, so be it. It's all part of God's plan. But he's just really thankful to be in this position. And it's really cool as you look at the only Camdenton Laker in the history of the NFL is Jason Whittle.
Yeah.
And so this would be only the second time. And so with that invite, pretty special. And something he told me that a lot of people don't know yet is that there's another team waiting, that if the Chiefs don't decide to offer or sign him to their practice squad, he's got a visit with the Buffalo Bills waiting following the conclusion of the Kansas City Chiefs weekend coming up. So just be thinking about and praying for our boy Paxton DeLaurent, 2019 Camdenton Laker alum, as he'll be trying out officially and on that trip this weekend. So be thinking about him. Man, good luck, Paxton. Can't wait to share with you guys when he officially signs with the Kansas City Chiefs.
And don't think it doesn't happen before. Tony Romo was an undrafted free agent for the Cowboys, and he ended up being a starter a few years later. And
there's stories from Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, to Kurt Warner, Doug Flutie, Rudy. And these guys don't even have the build or, that Paxton does.
Yeah.
And so
he's put on a lot of muscle too.
Yeah, he looks great. He's doing well in all phases. We'll keep you guys posted. All right, so hey, big deal coming up. The Missouri Hunters Heritage Federation is having their Spring Fling, a sporting clays event benefiting the Youth Hunter Education Clinic and Program.
Very important.
Yeah, May 31st. It is going to be in Lynn Creek at the Missouri Trap Shooters Association. Registration at 9 a.m., shotgun start at 10, lunch and prizes at 1. You can register as a team or as individuals, and registration includes lunch, 50 targets, and a 1-year Missouri Hunting Heritage Federation membership.
Wow.
Prizes will be awarded based on the highest score per class. Now, you do have to provide your own ammunition, but if you're not familiar with the Missouri Hunting Heritage Federation, this is a really cool nonprofit here that makes it possible for anyone to hunt and learn how to hunt safely. You want to find out more about them, go to www.mhhf.us/events. Really, really cool. We've gotten to learn a little bit about this organization over the last year.
Good people.
And something I think is really cool for the youth here in the Lake of the Ozarks area.
Very important. Hunting, that's a dangerous thing. You're working with live ammunition that can kill people. So learning how to, to shoot and, how all the safety things, that's so important. So look into that.
We should sign up for that.
Yeah, we should.
You and I.
Except for we might end up shooting each other or something.
Probably true. All right, so hey, we recap a super busy week in the book, starting with Thursday. The Eldon Chamber of Commerce had their annual awards dinner.
That was great.
It was at the Eldon Community Center. We so enjoyed the dinner put on by Whittles. They do an amazing job.
Good
Brett,
food.
Tracy Fry, their staff do awesome. But Miller Auto Supply was the small business of the year. Adient was the large business of the year. Wonderland Camp was the organization of the year. We saw Mike, we saw Stephanie, we saw Jill. $400 donation from the Chamber to Wonderland Camp. The volunteers of the year, Christina and Lonnie Dillon. $200 donation was made to their favorite charity. They chose the Eldon Booster Club. And the Citizen of the Year, so fitting, Chris Reynolds, the longtime pastor at 9th Street Christian Church, an amazing, amazing man. He chose to give $200 to Our Father's Table from the Chamber. Wonderful attendance. Matt Kostelnik, Eric Svada, the Chamber, Taylor Bailey do a great job. So wonderful evening. Of course, the Elegant Evening Friday at Camdenton was amazing. We saw Jane Martin get recognized as a distinguished citizen, the partner of the district. Amazing from Scott's Concrete. We had the boat show, Dogwood Festival, the barbecue bash. I just real quick want to give a shout out.
You were everywhere this weekend.
People's Choice Smokealicious, they raised $3,400. Pulled pork, Sinful Smokers took first. They also took the ribs of the mystery challenge, Sinful Smokers. Baked beans, first place, Boat Goat. And the sauce, first place, Smokealicious. Lindy Springs, MCS Construction, Lake Days Rental, Kime Time, Studio T Images. So many people at that event. Shout out to Kara Gerdeman and Kids Harbor. Amazing weekend. And that's going to do it for this week's Cup of Coffee. Until next week, thanks for watching.